It's time for ROTD weekend. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know about you, but right now I am mentally preparing for the time of year that is coming up ahead. We are right at the end of September right now where things feel calm, but I know they are about to hit me upside the head. So we have Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up soon, which I celebrate with my family here. Homecoming at my kids' school is coming, and my son is a senior, and both of my kids are in drumline. So those are extra big. On top of that, of course, for my son, it is college application season. Then straight into American Thanksgiving. Oh, I forgot. There's actually my daughter's birthday before American Thanksgiving. And then, of course, the whole month of December and Christmas and all of it. And so it's just right now where things feel like a little bit calm, but I know that they won't be. And so I am feeling extra happy that I've been having my teens cook every second week. There are 3 of them in my house, my 2 and my bonus teen. And so the 3 of them have been cooking each every second week. And so it spreads out the work, and it's been really fun watching them learn. My daughter has been making Tuscan soup every time it's her turn, and I love that. All of us love it, and she is perfecting it and getting good at it. I think she's probably got it memorized at this point. Actually, she's making it again tonight as I record this. My bonus teenager, Olivia, who is staying with us, is working on perfecting a Cuban recipe that her grandmother makes called fricassé con pollo. I will say Olivia is also the person who has been editing and producing these podcast episodes lately. So Olivia, I know I keep mispronouncing that. You have to tell me if I got it right in the podcast episode. I know you're going to tell me I said it wrong again. I tried. So yeah, so Olivia's been making that. It's really great. It's going to be on the website soon, I promise. It's chicken with potatoes and carrots, and there's like a citrusy kind of stew sauce, and then there's olives stewed right in with it. It is delicious. And then my son has been doing a little bit of variety. He has been trying out some different things. I actually printed out a list for all of them to consult if they want to of sort of easier recipes for my website. And so he has done a bunch of different things at this point. He did do some steaks. He's done some meatloaf. Last night he made a sausage chili that turned out really, really delicious, but he actually used ancho chili powder instead of regular chili powder, and it ended up a little bit spicier than expected. Honestly, it was one of those moments where I realized just how much you learn just by cooking, and like how little things can matter and you don't even realize it. Those little mistakes that you make that actually become part of your cooking education, you know? Things that you do not know until you try them, which is something I really appreciate about today's guest. I am speaking with Amy Dong from chewoutloud.com. She is all about helping people cook at home in ways that are doable, healthy, and delicious. It's that kind of food, those recipes that fit into real life, even when things are crazy like they are about to get for me, possibly for you too. And her brand new ebook, Skip the Takeout, is such a great example of that. I will link to it in the show notes. It's packed with easy, healthy Asian recipes that you can make at home. I think you'll see as I'm talking to Amy right away that her approach fits right into this busy season that we're about to hit with all that juggling when we are busy and tired and a little stressed, but we still want to get great food on the table. Amy from Chew Out Loud is a great person to turn to. Let us listen now to my conversation with Amy Dong from chewoutloud.com. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks for having me.
I'm delighted to be talking with you. I know we meet up every now and then at different food blogging conferences and things, and we always have great conversations. So now people get to listen in on one. So something I've always wanted to ask you through all of our conversations, I never have, is how did you name your website? It's Chew Out Loud, which is a very unique name. Where did that come from?
Yes. I'm actually really glad you asked me that question because I do get asked that sometimes, and I promise we We don't actually chew with our mouths open, but it just is kind of more of a pun or a play on words. I think the best food experiences happen when people gather around, share a meal, and connect through conversation, laughter, and just being together. We moved from Los Angeles to Minnesota for my husband's job about 16 years ago now, and I had never lived anywhere other than California. So it was a huge culture shock for me to go from big city to what felt like a small town for me at the time. I had two little boys, ages 2 and 4, was pregnant with my third, decided to take a sabbatical from my teaching career, and then start this blog. So I was always cooking and baking before, but now, as you know, the winters are very, very cold.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm from like directly north of that in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. North of there, I know exactly what you mean. It's so cold.
Oh, yeah. I don't think people know. They don't have an idea. I didn't have an idea until I actually lived it. And so it's too cold. People can't socialize outside. All the neighbors are inside. So you're meeting nobody. And honestly, it was pretty isolating when I first moved out here. So I just started cooking and baking so much more, which my husband and kids loved, but I felt like I had not much to show for it after each bread was baked or each dinner was made and eaten. So I just wanted to start this site just so that I could have something to document, right? Something to show for what I was making, and also written recipes where my kids, I was thinking ahead of time, kind of my kids and their future generations, they would actually be able to repeat the recipes I make and be able to replicate that, because that's not how my parents cook. I don't know about you, but my parents cooked with no recipes. They were a pinch of this, a dash of that, and just cook it till the consistency looks like this. And so that's really hard to pass down. 13 years ago, I started Chew Out Loud, didn't start it as a business, kind of doing this for a long time. It evolved from passion to business, and I think it just was always meant to be. So I named it that because, again, it's about me having missed the huge community of close friends and family that I had back in Southern California. Missed that a lot. It was really hard to build new friendships and community. It took me a couple years. So I just honestly started reaching out to people myself, making friends, and inviting people over to my house for meals every chance I got. So over the years, I feel like our kitchen became a gathering spot for friends, family, our kids' friends from preschool all the way to high school. And now 2 of my boys are actually in college, and they still bring over friends all the time. I don't even know when they're going to be here. So they know they can help themselves to anything in our pantry, in our fridge, and they just pull up chairs around our table and have whatever we're having. So that's Chew Out Loud, where our house is welcome and comfortable for people to come over to.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. And you've built that community for yourself and for your kids in a new place. That's wonderful. So you have a lot of Asian recipes on your site. Is that, I know you said your parents were a lot of like pinch of this, pinch of that, but is that what you grew up eating? Was those sorts of recipes?
Yeah. So I did grow up largely on Asian dishes, Chinese dishes, Taiwanese dishes. So the way I cooked wasn't necessarily that, because I was born and raised in Los Angeles, Southern California. It really was more of a fusion. Me growing up, I started cooking, Italian, Mexican, American, and then a lot of Asian as well. But I tend to do more of easier Asian, where it's not so hard to find the ingredients. I try to make the recipes a little bit healthier than what you would get from, a restaurant or takeout. I want to make sure that it's a little healthier, that the ingredients are accessible, that you can easily find them at major grocery stores.
That's super helpful. Yeah, because it can be daunting when you have new ingredients to deal with when you want to make a new recipe. And you have a new ebook out, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So I'm super excited about it. I think this is something that my email subscribers have asked me for and have said, hey, are you going to come out with like an Asian cookbook or like a skip the takeout type of cookbook? So I actually named it Skip the Takeout, and it's focused on easier, healthier Asian dishes that are popular that you would maybe want to go and get takeout, but you want it to just be healthier and you want it to be homemade and feel good about serving to your friends and family, that I feel good about serving my kids and eating on a daily basis.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I know. Like go-to healthy Asian recipes. It's a great idea. Where can people, if they're listening and they want to get a copy, where should they go?
Oh, yeah. So my email subscribers are going to be the first people that learn about it and find out where it is. So you can definitely subscribe to my email list, but also it'll be on my website as well, chewoutloud.com.
Perfect. I love it, Amy. Congratulations. That's really exciting that you have this out. Have you brought a recipe to tell me about today?
I have, and it's
Yay.
actually one of my Asian fusion recipes.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's very fun. It's my teriyaki salmon.
Ah.
I chose this because, okay, a lot of families have that one dish that everyone looks forward to or knows that if there's a potluck, that's what you're known for. And this is mine. And it sounds weird. It sounds, it's different. It's not a casserole. It's not something like that. It's teriyaki salmon. But that's what I'm known for in my immediate and extended family. This is my famous dish. And it became that because we wanted a way to eat more healthy fish, to eat more salmon. And when I was living in California, I was always ordering teriyaki salmon at Japanese restaurants and stuff. Well, then eventually we learned that we can buy the whole fresh salmon fillets from Costco. And so then we started doing that. And you can actually use frozen fillets or whole fresh fillets. Either is fine. But that's what I bring for all our gatherings. They expect it with the teriyaki sauce, plenty of teriyaki sauce, and fluffy jasmine rice on the side. My kids grew up on this. 2 of them are away at college now, and it's still requested by them when they come home. So I love it.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to hear about this. Okay, so where do you start when you're making this?
Okay, so we start off with the salmon fillets. That's going to be the most important part. I always make sure to get the ones that are at least an inch thick throughout and try not to, get the ones that are very uneven. I try to make sure my salmon fillets are that thickness throughout and about 6 to 8 ounces each, or buy the whole fillet with the skin on one side. Whether it has skin or not, doesn't matter. Both work just as well.
Oh, good.
Okay, the teriyaki sauce, you will have a bottle of teriyaki sauce. So I usually will do a store-bought bottle. That's kind of a base, but it's not really good by itself. So it's essentially super flavorfully doctored up teriyaki sauce.
Okay.
And I like Kikkoman brand. That's the brand I use, but you can use, whatever your favorite brand sauce is. I use both white and brown sugar in the sauce as sweeteners. And this is kind of a huge key is the fresh orange juice. A little squeeze of fresh orange juice makes the world of difference. And it should be fresh orange wedges. I use just 2 orange wedges. It adds acidity and citrus flavor to the sauce. I would highly recommend the freshly squeezed over bottled orange juice if possible.
Yeah, it has a much brighter flavor.
So
Yeah,
much
for
more
sure.
flavor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the sauce is everything. For this recipe, in particular, the sauce is where the magic is at. So you want to make sure it's good. I use ground ginger just out of ease because it's easy to find. You can use it, use it in baking, use it in different things, and then use ground ginger. But of course, you can use freshly grated ginger as well.
I think for this kind of thing, I used to be like this diehard, it must be fresh ginger person. But I find that if this kind of sauce, now I don't know if you're about to tell us that you cook this sauce, but if you're just doing an uncooked sauce, then the powdered ginger spreads out through the whole thing and gets its flavor through the whole thing, whereas the chopped up or grated, well, I guess maybe if you rasp grated it, but it doesn't spread through in the same way. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you. And yes. And this is just accessible and easy and you can measure it. So
yeah,
perfect. Because sometimes my fresh ginger goes bad or whatever, in the fridge. You don't have to worry about that. And then for the thickener, I use cornstarch. I love cornstarch, and a lot of Asian cooking actually uses cornstarch as a thickener versus flour, probably because it does impart a little bit of a starchy flavor, and cornstarch is a cleaner flavor and a more pure flavor. But key, super important, you want to make sure that your cornstarch is fully dissolved in a little bit of water before using it. Because if you haven't worked with cornstarch as a thickener before, it can form little clumps as it heats. It's not fully dissolved.
Yeah, I got you. So you're mixing that in with everything else, making sure it's smooth. And then what do you do?
Yeah. And then in a pot, we'll combine all that, the teriyaki sauce, a bit of water, the white sugar, brown sugar, orange juice, and the fully dissolved cornstarch with some ground ginger. Whisk that really well to make sure that it's well combined. Then you bring that to a boil. Once it's boiled, immediately turn it down to a simmer and just whisk it until you'll see it. It'll thicken. And then at that point, sometimes I'll add a little bit more sugar. You can add a little bit more sugar to taste if you prefer it a little sweeter, because let's say your oranges were a little more acidic and they weren't as sweet, then, you'll do it to taste. And then I just cover it, take it off the heat, and keep it warm when you're going to prepare the salmon.
Okay. So the sauce stays warm. And then what do you do to the salmon?
The salmon, super, super important for, I think, any fish and any salmon, but even chicken and things, but salmon in particular. You want to make sure you remove all the excess moisture before seasoning and cooking it. Sometimes, especially if it's been frozen, right, and you're defrosting it, there'll be excess moisture or excess water content. And what that does is it tends to cause the fish to steam instead of brown. So I will just take a bunch of clean paper towels and just pat that really dry as much as possible. You're not going to remove all the moisture, but as much as possible. And then we'll sprinkle a light layer of kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper on both sides, or just on the one side if you have a skin on in the bottom.
So the skin is not going to get crispy in this recipe. We're not going to be eating it. So you don't really want to bother seasoning it. That's the idea?
Yeah, you really don't have to. And when you cook it, we'll cook it on both sides and the skin can get crispy. If you want to eat it, sure. But most people kind of just eat the fillet off. The skin will peel right off the fillet. So yeah, usually we don't bother seasoning that part.
Gotcha. Okay, so seasoned up salmon, what's next?
So the beauty of this recipe is you can do it outdoor grill or indoor cast iron grill, which makes it year round, which is why I have it for any time of year. Especially, we talked about the winters being so cold here, so there's no way I can barbecue or heat up an outdoor grill in the summer, but we're still going to eat this dish in the winter. So I will use a cast iron grill or an outdoor grill. You want to grease that and get it really hot and smoky, and actually literally to the point where there's smoke arising. The hotter the cooking surface is, the more that's going to help with the browning of the salmon without cooking the interior, because you just don't want the inside to dry out, but you want a nice browning on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. So good and hot, smoking hot, and oiled up.
Oiled up. Okay, then we're going to lay the salmon fillets on the grill, and I cook it then on a medium-high heat just until it's cooked. So that means cook about 2 to 3 minutes per side, really depending on the thickness and depending on how cold your salmon was to start with, right? So that can vary a bit, but I usually 2 or 3 minutes per side. I would say do not overcook, because overcooked salmon can be a little bit chalky or dry. So not as delicious, right? So you just want to cook it until the center is no longer translucent, and then take it off the heat immediately, because any meat or salmon also, when you take it off the heat, it will continue to rise a little bit in temperature as it's resting. So yeah, we'll want to remove it.
Okay, a couple minutes aside. So the sauce has not hit the salmon yet. It's just seasoned and cooked. Oh, yes. Okay.
And this goes really quickly. So yeah, we're not even needing to marinate the salmon. This is so easy. It's so quick. Christine, this thing comes up in, 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Got the dish. Yep. So then you let the cooked salmon rest at room temperature a few minutes, helps it retain the juiciness, tenderness. Then I just drizzle that with as much teriyaki sauce as I want. Serve the teriyaki sauce on the side. People usually love to put more on. And then I love a bed of fluffy jasmine rice. That's my favorite. Or even a plate of green salad. People order salmon on their salad. This is delicious. Even just the teriyaki dressing all over that is so yummy. So that's how we do it.
That's it. Oh, wow. That is so easy and it sounds delicious. Thank you so much, Amy. Can you let everyone now know or remind them all where they can find you online if they want more of these delicious recipes?
Absolutely. You can find me on www.chewoutloud.com. It's my website, or at chewoutloud on Instagram, and subscribe to my email. You can find that on my website for newest recipes. I also publish exclusive recipes for my email subscribers. And again, came out with that brand new ebook called Skip the Takeout, which focuses on the super easy, healthy Asian dishes with ingredients you can easily find and access. So my email subscribers are always the first to be notified when I have any ebook launches or product launches.
That is so great. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thanks, Christine.
So easy, so good. I love Amy's recipes. I know you will too. I will put the link to her ebook in the show notes for you for this podcast episode. Or if you go to chewoutloud.com and click shop, you will see it there. Thank you so much, Amy. Oh, and teriyaki salmon. I am in. I love that so much. Salmon, teriyaki sauce. I actually was just talking about teriyaki sauce on the show earlier this week. You know I love it. Thank you for a great recipe. Now, as to what am I doing in the kitchen this week, I am working on some of those recipes for two that I've been telling you about. I have a stew for two. I love the name of that I am doing another round on. And then, here we are with the funny names. I don't know why I'm being so clever right now with the names, but we have another one called Curry in a Hurry. So that one uses like little bits and pieces that you have in your fridge when you have just some half a bell pepper, a little bit of onion, maybe one little rib of celery, stick it around, maybe some zucchini. You have those little bits of vegetables in your fridge and you want to use them in something. This is like a quick hack on a curry, not traditional by far, but really, really tasty. I am working on that. I'm actually trying it with a whole bunch of different vegetable combinations to make sure that it's going to work. So that is happening in my kitchen this week. And I'm also taking the pictures for and video of a recipe that I make all the time, but had only sort of written down a couple of months ago. I wrote down what I'd done because it was so good. And then I've been actually following what I'd written down instead of just trying to remember all the time. So that one is actually turning into a recipe for the website soon. And that is for some baked barbecue drumsticks. So that is what's happening in my kitchen this week. As far as what's going live on the website, it's a slow week. We actually are just doing a little demo on the Cookful for how to cut an avocado, both safely and so that you get really nice slices. So that's going live on the Cookful. And we don't actually have a new recipe on Cook the Story this week because we have something extra special next week. We are in partnership again with our sponsor, Coleman All Natural Meats. And we have next week, and I'll be telling you about it more soon, a really amazing recipe that is going to be perfect on your holiday table this year, really for any time in the fall or winter. And I'm going to give you a little teaser of what is coming. It involves their delicious, mild, sweet Italian sausage. It also involves some bread. It involves some apples. There's rosemary and honey going on. And I will tell you, it is so pretty and so good. So we don't have anything going live on Cook the Story this week because we are spending some extra time perfecting that recipe, the pictures, the video, everything for that. And I will tell you more about that next week. So much delicious stuff to talk about all the time. Am I right? I will also just take a moment here to say, I don't know if you've noticed, but Cook the Story has gotten a little bit of a glow up lately. So just a little freshened look. If you are somebody who visits that site a lot, go and have a peek and see if you can see the changes. They're subtle, but just kind of a little lightening and freshening update. And actually the cookful.com is getting its own little glow up as well. That should be coming soon. That one is really getting a new logo and some new colors. So I will let you know when that is live. But if you notice it and want to tell me what you think, you can email me at cookthestory@gmail.com. I would love to hear what you think. So yeah, that's what's been going on around here. I'm curious if you are feeling busy in the same way I am, or that like little calm before the storm. You can email me about that too. I want to know what's going on with you and how you're doing out there. Love hearing from you. I want to say a big thank you to Amy Dong from chewoutloud.com. Don't forget to go check out that cookbook, Skip the Takeout, over at chewoutloud.com. And a big thank you to you for listening. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great weekend. Let's get cooking.